Let's start with your perspective, Syekh Imran, on Israel and its operations in West Asia. To what extent is what Israel is doing a religious war, and is it motivated by the kind of eschatological predictions about end times that you've thoroughly researched?
The Quran declares of itself that it is absolute truth. And my scholarship is based on the Quran. I am not Shia, I am not Sunni, I'm not sectarian in my beliefs, I'm just a Muslim. And I accept that absolute truth is located only in the Quran. And with that introduction, I can now attempt to answer you. And that is that the story which is now unfolding in the world, in the Holy Land, in Israel and the state of Israel, began long, long years ago. And it'll take some time to explain it. It is the promise of the Lord God to an Israelite people that he would send to them one who would be known as the Messiah. And when the Messiah is sent, he will bring back for them the golden age when Israel, holy Israel, once ruled the world at the time of Solomon, Nabi Sulaiman alayhi salam. But then came the time when Allah sent the Messiah to the Israelite people. And while some of them accepted him, the rest of them rejected him. And when they saw him die on the cross, I never said that he died on the cross. Please be careful. When they saw him die on the cross before their very eyes, they were convinced that he could not have been the Messiah because he is dead. And look at how he died, by crucifixion. And the Torah says that whoever dies like that is the cursed of the Lord God. And so they're waiting for the Messiah to come. When the Messiah comes, this is what he's going to do. He's going to liberate the Holy Land for us, and we'll be able to return to the Holy Land from which we have been expelled. And when we return to the Holy Land, we'll reclaim it as our own. And then the state of Israel will be restored in the Holy Land, and the Messiah will rule the world from Israel. That is the script. And as a result of this script, they are convinced that now their Messiah is coming. Why? Because they have returned to Jerusalem to reclaim it as their own. Number two, they've restored the state of Israel in the Holy Land. And number three, as every American knows, that Israel now controls the United States of America, with someone named Trump ruling from Washington. And as a result, they are in fact already on the way to ruling the world from Jerusalem. And therefore it should not be long from now before that Messiah comes. But the Quran tells us that Jesus, the son of Mary, was the Messiah. And when they rejected him, and they boasted of how they killed him and they crucified him, and they were convinced that he was not the Messiah, then Allah Most High created someone who would impersonate the Messiah. The Christian eschatologist says of him that he is the Antichrist, and Christians constitute a very large percentage of believers in the world today. And the Muslim knows him also as the false Messiah. It's the same person. It's not two different people. And so from the perspective of Islamic eschatology and of Christian eschatology, events are now unfolding in the world which will culminate with the false Messiah ruling from Jerusalem. But in order for him to complete his effort of ruling from Jerusalem, Israel has to replace the United States of America as the ruling state in the world. This is Islamic eschatology based on the Quran, that the false Messiah comes with as a shadow. In taliku ila zillin zi thalasi sharp. Proceed to a shadow comprised of three parts. This is the Quran in Surah Al-Mursalat. When the Quran speaks with a verse which is plain and clear, this is called ayah muhkama. But when the Quran speaks with a verse which must be interpreted in order to be understood, this is called ayah mutashabiha. We have the right to interpret the Quran. No one can stop us. No Maulana, no Sheikh, no Ayatollah can stop us from interpreting the Quran. But when you can interpret the Quran, please have two peanuts worth of common sense that only Allah can confirm that an interpretation is correct. So we should not divide ourselves into sectarian movements on the basis of interpretation. That is false, that is nonsense. And so when we say that the shadow comprised of three parts is the false Messiah, the Antichrist, Dajjal, that's our opinion. We can be right, we can be wrong. We should not have boxing gloves over interpretation. I came to the conclusion some 25 years ago when I wrote Jerusalem in the Quran, and no one has interpreted, no one has responded to that book as yet. Maybe they need another 25 years before they'll even read my book. This is the pathetic state of Islamic scholarship today. Makes no difference whether you're Shia or Sunni. This is the pathetic state of Islamic scholarship today, that this important book, Jerusalem in the Quran, published 25 years ago, and they are pathetically silent. They will not respond to it. In that book, I suggested that when the first part of the shadow came of the Antichrist, the world witnessed within that first part Pax America, Pax Britannica, that Britain did not fall out of the sky by accident as a ruling state. None at all. There's nothing in political history which can explain the phenomenon of Pax Britannica. If there is, please tell me what it is. Rather, we say this is our Islamic eschatological explanation of Pax Britannica, followed by Pax Americana. And now we are saying, this is our view, that we are now witnessing the beginning of Pax Judaica. They did not listen to me 25 years ago. They laughed at me, they scoffed at me 25 years ago. But they're not doing that anymore. Israel is now flexing her muscles. Israel is now saying, we don't care two peanuts for world public opinion. We will defy the whole world. We will defy the United Nations. We don't care. If the United Nations becomes a humbug to us, we will shut down the United Nations. We are going alone. This is the way a ruling state will behave. And so we are arguing what is happening in Gaza in defying world opinion. What happened when Israel attacked Iran to try to destroy Iran's nuclear plants? All of these are signs that Israel is now flexing her muscles for a Pax Judaica to replace Pax Americana. Trump wants to make America great again. In other words, he's trying to revive Pax Americana. That's why you have American warships now outside of the coast of Venezuela. But Pax Americana cannot be revived. Pax Americana is dependent upon the US dollar, and the US dollar is on its way to the financial cemetery. And so now this is our Islamic eschatological view, with which you can accept, you can reject. That's up to you. But we view the world today as one in which Pax Judaica is now making its appearance, and we are looking forward now to see a future where eventually Israel will be ruling the world from Jerusalem, but that can only take place after the Great War,
Well,
because Russia and China on the one hand and modern Western civilization on the other are the two heavyweights in the world today. They're hoping for a great war, a nuclear war, which will mutually destroy both of these. And as a consequence, after the Great War, the road will then be open for a Pax Judaica.